Sky News.
Well, joining me now is Diego Moya Ocampos, an analyst who specialises in Latin America at the international forecasting group IHS Global Insight. Lovely to see you, Diego. I should add, of course, you are also Venezuelan.
Thank you very much.
Perfect for this slot. Now, with its enormous oil resources, Venezuela should be much richer than it is, should it not? Does the end of Chavez really open the door to a rapprochement with the West?
President Chavez out of the picture clearly is a game changer in Venezuela. His absence, however, will create a vacuum of power that would be very, very hard to fill. And everything will depend on the leadership. Clearly, a government of the opposition will have a more business-friendly approach and could open or pave the way to reapproach with the West. However, a re-election or an election of Nicolás Maduro, the vice president, who is Chavez's appointed successor, would clearly lead to a continuity in this strong anti-US, anti-West stance, nationalist stance.
Tell us a little bit about Enrique Capriles, because he's a state governor. It seems he will run against Maduro. Does he have a chance of winning? And if he does, is he the man to make relationships with Britain and America a little warmer?
Yeah, I mean, Enrique Capriles represents an alternative, fresh opposition, different than the traditional conservative opposition in Venezuela, and different from the traditional political parties in Venezuela, which led to President Chavez came into the political forum in the first place. I think Capriles clearly represents a more business-friendly approach, but clearly with a vision of economic growth with social inclusion, a sort of, let's say, a Lula.
But given the media seems to be controlled by Chavistas, what chance does this Mr. Capriles have?
I think he has little chance, really. The most likely scenario is that Maduro will win the election. Now, why is this the case? We're going to see, like we saw last year in President Chavez's re-election, a political campaign which we're going to see vast state resources going to being allocated to Maduro's electoral campaign. We're going to see the very strong media apparatus in place, and the opposition is going to an electoral process in a clear disadvantage. So I think that it is going to be really, really difficult for the opposition to really get what it takes to really conduct to a change in the leadership in just the 30 days that the Constitution gives for elections to take place.
And the military, of course, that was Chavez's power base.
Yes.
Can it be relied upon to be neutral?
I mean, we have to remember that this is a process, a political process, which have seen not only the politicization of the armed forces, but also the militarization of civil society. And the armed forces will play a key role in the days to come. However, the armed forces in Venezuela remain a complex, highly politicized institution, and their impartiality is in doubt. Having said this, the armed forces exercise a sort of constitutional police role in Venezuela, vigilant of the democratic process. And if it is the case that Enrique Capriles managed to win an election, I think there is a chance that the institutional factions of the armed forces would enforce such victory.
Very good, Diego. Many thanks. Muchas gracias y hasta luego.
Pleasure. Thank you very much, Jeff.